Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Attribution and I like to make videos on all things beauty, fashion and lifestyle. So if that's your cup of tea, I recommend that you subscribe to this channel and also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I upload in the future. In today's video, I want to teach you in detail how to do an everyday eyeshadow look that you can either dress up or take down a notch. So this tutorial is really beginner friendly and I think you're gonna enjoy it a lot. First up, I'm going to use my P. Louise Base Pro in Roomer. You only need a tiny bit of this because you don't want it to be too wet. And I am using the MAC 224 brush just to place that onto my eyelid and blending all the way up to my eyebrow. I also like to use my finger just to pat it in. I'm going to be using two MAC eyeshadows. Today it is Kid and Omega. Before you start putting down some eyeshadow, make sure that your base is very smooth because you don't want it to be gathering in the crease. If it starts gathering in the crease, just pat it down with your finger or with your brush. I'm gonna start off with Omega on a kind of fluffy blending brush. This is the Morphe M433. Make sure that my base is completely blended in, and then I'm going to place that eyeshadow on my outer corner and also into the crease. At this stage, I like to use patting motions and then sometimes I drag them front and back, but mostly patting just to place the eyeshadow down. Once I've placed the shadow down, I want to use the same brush, barely anything in it anymore, and I'm going to blend out the edges. And I do recommend holding the brush a bit further down the shaft. That way, your blending is much smoother. Instead of if you're here, it gets really harsh. When you're doing your makeup, you want to look forward into a mirror and make sure that everything's even and that you can see the makeup you're doing while you have your eyes open. So when I'm looking at myself in the mirror that's here in front of me, I can see that it's pretty good. This one is a little bit higher than this one though, so I'm gonna add to it just a tiny bit. When you're blending, don't let anyone tell you that there's only one way to blend, because there's not. You can do patting motions like this, circles, front and back, you can go up and down. If it works, it works. There's no right way. Now I'm gonna use the shade Kid, which is like a pinky undertone nude, in a Sigma E36 blending brush. When you got your brush loaded, place the shadow on top of Omega and blend it further. The smaller the brushes you use, the more precise your placing is. That's why I used a bigger brush in Omega, because it didn't really matter where that shade went because I was gonna blend it upwards anyways. But this one needs to be a bit more precise. It can't go lower, it can't go very much higher. We just need it a little bit higher than Omega. I'm also gonna be using my favorite palette at the moment. This is the Urban Decay Stone Vibes palette. It is gorgeous. I love it. I use it every day. I want to use the shade Antidote and Good Karma. I'm starting with Antidote and I'm using the same brushes I used in Kid, which is the Sigma E36. And I'm going to be placing this a little bit higher than the one we used earlier. So what we're doing here is creating a perfect gradient. One thing you can do if you don't have this many eyeshadows, you can use white to add on to the blending, just to make it lighter and lighter and lighter. Now I'm going to use Good Karma in a fluffier blending brush from, I think this is Jessup, number JE08. These are very affordable brushes. You can get them on AliExpress. I'm going to be placing this shade above Antidote just to create that more of a gradient and also to highlight my brow bone. Really sorry that I'm moving everything around, but I'm still trying to get everything to work how I like it. I still just have my kit camera and my kit lens. I don't have all the fancy stuff that other people do. Don't forget to look straight forward into a mirror to make sure that everything is symmetrical. I'm going to use the Sigma E36 blending brush that I used on the other shades, Kid and Antidote. Just have it clean and gonna blend it further. Eye shading is basically all about the blending, unless you're doing something that doesn't need much blending. But blending is basically key, so really practice that skill. I'm pretty happy with this. You could stop here and put mascara on and it would be beautiful. You could also put Good Karma on your inner corner and blend it a little bit to the middle of your iris. That looks really pretty. I, however, want to go a little bit further because I want it to be a detailed tutorial and I want you to see a eyeshadow look. I'm still using the Urban Decay Stone Vibes palette and I am dipping into Hexed, which is a brown reddish shade eyeshadow, and I'm using the Sigma E42 brush for that because now I need to be a little bit more precise. Now I'm going to be looking down into my mirror. That way I can see better what I'm doing, where I'm placing everything, and also also it flattens my eyelid. So looking down, I'm gonna use my brush and I'm gonna place the eyeshadow in the outer corner of my eye. I'm gonna use the same brush I used for Omega in the beginning. There's a tiny bit left in it, but not much. I'm gonna use that brush and just pat over Hexed, which I just placed down moments ago. And then I'm going to swipe it, blend it really carefully. I'm really happy with my blending and my shading right now, so I'm gonna continue and do the more extra things that we can do. Now, if you feel like this is enough for you, you can stop right here. That's the beauty of makeup. You can just look at yourself and go, yeah, that's enough. I'm more of a more is more person. Not always, but sometimes. So I'm gonna use the P. Louise base again in the Morphe M210 brush, which is a flat brush. And I'm going to pat my eyelid where I want to put a lighter shade on. So I'm gonna go from my tear duct and up to the middle of my iris. And I also want to, whatever is left in the brush, once I put it on my eyelid, take it up a tiny bit. So I want it to be very soft. I'm not doing a cut crease, just softening it. And then we go on to the other eye. And I'm using very little product because we don't want too much. I went in a little bit too far, so I'm gonna use Antidote and just blend the middle here. I'm gonna use the Morphe M210 again, and I'm gonna dip into Tiger's Eye, which is in the Stoned Vibes palette. And it's like a goldy bronze color, but it has also a lot of shimmer. It's very metallic, it's beautiful. And it's the only shimmery color in this palette that I think is natural. Now again, if you want to do more, you can wet your brush, you can put more base on, but I want this to be more wearable, so I'm gonna put a tiny little bit on my brush, and I'm just going to pat it over. I'm also gonna use this one in the tear duct. I wasn't gonna do that earlier, but I really like it. Just gonna place that here. I'm gonna clean up the edges of the shimmery shade and the matte shades with Antidote and the Sigma E36 brush. Placing it and then flicking it outwards. I'm also gonna be using Hexed again, just to deepen it a little bit more. And then using the Morphe M433 to blend that out. So I'm going to add a little bit of gel liner. This is the iStudio Lasting Drama Gel Eyeliner from Maybelline. And I'm using a tiny little brush. I think this is from a hobby shop. So it's like not a makeup brush, it's for painting. And I'm gonna start from the inner corner and drag a line all the way to my outer corner. I'm not gonna do a wing because I feel like this makeup is too pretty to have something so distracting to it. Now I'm going to use the Telescopic Extra Black Mascara. Please excuse my eyelashes. They are going through hard times right now. I went through a little bit of a sad time in the beginning of November, and I kind of stopped nourishing my body properly. Only ate 1 to 2 meals per day, which is not ideal for anyone. And my eyelashes decided to just leave. I'm not even joking. Like, if you look at my left eye, I barely got any eyelashes left. But I am working on it now. I am eating loads more than I was. And I'm also using this lash serum from Lancome. I'm hoping that will help. I'm gonna let my top eyelashes dry while I show you my eyelashes, because my right eye is pretty okay. It's not great, but it's better than the left one, because wow, it's bad. I'm just gonna move you in a little bit closer so you can see. Can you see it? I can't really see if you can see it. I'm missing loads here. This one is really long and these are really short. At least my eyeshadow is cute. And there's also a thing called false lashes. I think my mascara on the top is dry enough, so I'm gonna put some mascara on the bottom now. I just realized that I forgot to put eyeshadow under my eye, so I'm gonna let my mascara dry completely and then I'm gonna do that. Until then, I want to show you how I put on lashes. The lashes I'm using today are the Tanya Ear lashes in the Bow collection. These are in the style Japan. I really like these lashes. They're really natural and they also have a clear band, so you don't have to have a liner on when you wear them. You don't really need a liner for any other lash, but this just makes it so much more easier. I also have a haul video and a review video of all of my Tanya Ear lashes. If you want to watch that, I will leave a link in the description below, and I'll also pop up a card somewhere on the screen. First up, if I didn't clean my lashes the last time I used them, I'm gonna do that now, and I see that I haven't. So I'm just going to be really careful and pinch the glue that's on them, like that came off. Just make sure that you're not pulling any hairs off because that ruins your style. Make sure that you're pulling only the glue off. While the glue is drying and getting a little more tacky, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Stoned Vibes palette again and do my under eye. I'm gonna start with Tiger's Eye. I'm gonna put that on a flat brush and I'm going to place that underneath in the corner of my eye. You don't want to put too much shimmer under your eye because that really emphasizes any wrinkles that you might have and all texture that you might have. So only place it really close to your waterline. I'm going to use a Sigma E42 brush, which is the brush that I use for Hexed on my outer corner. I'm going to use that in Antidote first. Just placing it on the tip of my brush, blending it underneath my eye. And I personally really like it when my under eye has a lot of color. Usually people say that you should do 50% of what you did on top, on the bottom. I think we should go up to like 70%. If you don't want to do 70%, you obviously can go 50%. You can go 20, you can do 0, whatever you like. I'm using the same brush and I'm dipping into Hexed. Only the tip, and I'm gonna blend that into Antidote on the outer corner and blend it into my outer corner here. All right, let's put lashes on. They should be ready now. We don't want them too dry because then you have to take them off and do it again. So you look down in the mirror, place your eyelash on your inside corner and then drag it down. That lash is on now. The glue is still a little bit too wet, so I'm gonna leave that to dry, but I'm also gonna push it down onto my skin just to make sure that it sticks. And I'm gonna let the glue dry completely before I pinch them together or do anything. I'm also going to pinch my lashes, which means that I'm gonna take these tweezers and I'm gonna slide them along my lashes and then just pinch together. That way they look a bit more closer to my lash line. And here we go with the look for today. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment box below if you learned something new from me. Also, give me some suggestions for future videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time in another video. Until then, you guys, bye!